sex. Now that I've got your attention, let's talk about just that, because if you did watch Raw or SmackDown recently, you will have seen that WWE seemingly is trying to bring back sex, or at least a more kind of risque product in a PG environment that you can do in 2019. I would guess it ties into everything that happened around about a month or so ago when Vince McMahon and his group of friends said they want to give the fans what they want, but I'm not 100% sure this is what we wanted at all. But WWE is seemingly bringing back the sex. Why? Sex why? Here's why. So let's get into the examples. On an episode of Monday Night Raw, Alexa Bliss was interrupted by a stagehand who knocked on her door, wanting to bring her some coffee, barged in anyway, and there she was holding a t-shirt, so in order to keep herself covered up. Now forget about the fact it looked as if she'd been holding this t-shirt in that position for around about 752 years. This was the segment that we received. Shifting over to SmackDown, it was Mandy Rose's turn because she was waiting in the hotel for Jimmy Uso to arrive. She'd given him the key, even though he's Naomi's husband. And then on the chair in said hotel room, she was there and she was wearing some lingerie. It was all a ruse because she was just trying to get a picture of Jimmy doing the act, or at least seemingly doing the act. And that is already better than anything we got in 1999. And all you need to do to get any evidence of that is go and watch any kind of women's segment from 1999. It is genuinely unbelievable. Now, before we go on, I do feel like it's important to underline that yes, if any performer, male or female, is happy to do this kind of stuff, then there shouldn't be any kind of problem with it. If you want to show off your body, it's 100% your body to show off. And nobody should be able to criticize that. You should be allowed to do whatever it is you want to do. I don't feel like it's on me to judge, so if everybody's giving the thumbs up, then everybody's giving it the thumbs up. And again, go out there, go on TV, wear a towel, wear some little pants, I don't care. The issue that we need to look at today is that we're going backwards, enable apparently to go forwards, and I'm not 100% sure that's how it works. While the Bliss segment was a bit of an eyebrow raiser because we haven't seen anything like that for a long time, when you do look at what happened with Mandy Rose on SmackDown, as well as all that, it was also a bit rubbish. Forget what the intention was. Seeing this all play out with overtones of adultery, entrapment, and sadistic divorce is just not what I need to see on my wrestling TV screen in the modern day. And I know people will argue that and go, well, it represents what could happen in real life. Well, yeah, so does a lot of stuff, but again, it doesn't mean I want it drafted across into my entertainment. I'm just that kind of a guy. And I understand that entertainment is there to divide something that I love, you're probably going to hate, and vice versa. But there is lots of evidence when you look outside of that bubble that maybe doing this wasn't the best idea of the world, especially when you start talking to non-wrestling fans. Or if not specifically non-wrestling fans, those that are on the cusp of becoming part of this clan. Now please do get in touch using the comments below and let me know your experiences, but I heard a lot of tales, I heard a lot of stories of some people stumbling across this and saying, this is exactly the reason I don't want to watch wrestling. It makes me feel uncomfortable. This is exactly the opposite of what WWE needs to be doing right now because yeah, numbers are down, and if you want to bring them back up, and not just to a level that is average, but to super duper levels, you've got to ensure you're getting new eyes onto the product, especially because people like you and I, we're going to watch regardless. We're the hardcore fans. We stuck with it through all of December 2018 when Baron Corbin was running wild, and that proves it. What really threw it all into the old wood chipper is what preceded it. We had an absolutely amazing Astonking match between Andrade and Rey Mysterio, and that's the kind of thing I think a random person could see and go, wow, this is amazing. Look at all the flips, look at all the colours on Rey Mysterio's outfit. Maybe it's something I want to invest in. And then 2 minutes later, you have a hotel scene that kind of smells like a really bad soap opera. I'm not saying that segue couldn't have worked in some sense, but what did we get? We had all the stuff in the lingerie, we've talked about that and what it means. Also, we had that brawl on the bed, which just wasn't good and kind of was an insult to these women that have trained really hard to be proper professional wrestlers, and it didn't really go anywhere. I don't hate Mandy Rose anymore. I don't like Naomi more than I did. Jimmy Uso was kind of just there. Hey, maybe it was Jey Uso, we don't know. It did nothing for me. It's also not something I've heard people calling for, be that on Twitter, Facebook, social media, or whatever. If I head over to Reddit Squared Circle, where a lot of people will talk about the WWE, it's rare to see what I think we need is more sexuality. And I know, that Bliss segment has already done about 2 million views or something on YouTube, and that number will continue to increase as the weeks and the months go on. That doesn't mean it was the right thing to do. It just means you got the intrigue of someone for about, 30 seconds? And then what? Where does it go from there? What was the point? It's also just not where the industry should be heading. I mean, if you do go back to the Attitude Era and try and revive concepts from them, that makes absolutely no sense. That was 20 years ago. We're not living in 20 years ago anymore. The world has changed, life has changed, and you have to represent modern times. That will be the case in 2039 too. You don't go back to the well and just hope something similar pops out of it and go, oh look, we can apply this to the modern day. I mean, where does that even stop? Do we bring Stone Cold Steve Austin back? Do we bring The Rock back? Sure, that's going to spike a rating, and it is certainly going to get old fans interested again, but sooner or later that nostalgia will wear off, that novelty will wear off, and one little voice will go, why ain't Seth Rollins on TV anymore? Why ain't Dean Ambrose getting a push? The fact you're not progressing or representing current trends is going to become glaringly obvious. And sure, we've had those successes, and I'm sure you hold them in warm regard. I know I do. I'd love to see a few more stunners. It ain't the answer right now. Let's get in deeper with these legends for one quick second. Do you remember when The Rock did come back against CM Punk and they had that really good Raw Rumble match? And I loved it, and I understood why WWE was doing it. Dwayne Johnson is a proper global superstar, and if you tell people he's going to be on your program, they're going to tune in. They want to see what The Rock is going to do. He is a draw. But as soon as Punk vanished from the main event scene, a bunch of people got pissed off. And yeah, again, I get it. You don't book just for that people, but you also don't just book for these people over here. It's this window. It's like the camera screen that I'm looking at right now. Book for everybody, but be smart about it. Doing anything else never ever works long term because again, you need new ideas and you need new approaches. Also, and just personally speaking, this is my opinion, you're free to disagree with me. Once more, just to underline it, I don't think there's a bunch of people out there going, I'll come back to watch wrestling if you make it more sexualized. If anything, I would say it's the exact opposite. And look, if you did love it, I'm not here to crap over your parade. Everybody's different and horses for courses or whatever that cliche is. But it's not something that I needed to see, especially because the one on Monday made absolutely no sense. It was just Alexa Bliss holding a towel up so we couldn't see anything. Not even a towel, a t-shirt. That is illogical. At least try and give it a reason, but if you aren't going to give it a reason, don't make it like the one on SmackDown, because that was preposterous too. Apart from a bit when that cameraman jumped out to take pictures of Jimmy Uso, it was like he was hopped up on drugs. He jumped and he bounced down on his knee and he furiously took pictures as if once this was done, he was never going to get another photography job. Those pictures are redundant anyway, as Naomi holds the whole story. I mean, how the hell are we going to address this next week? What are we even going to say? Point is, I want WWE to try new things and I want them to surprise me. That's what will get me in 2019. Stories I never saw coming and stories I just didn't expect. Give me that feeling where I want to go online and I want to tweet and I want to join in with the wrestling community because I'm so intrigued to see what they're going to say. Instead of, oh good, we've gone back to this. And I lived through the Attitude Era and it absolutely cemented my fandom, but I was a kid. And do I want anything else coming back from my kid years? No, I do not. It just wouldn't make any sense. It would make me a bit like, oh no, not this again. I don't want to go through those things and I don't want them on my TV either. I'm on a brand new boat and I want to sail through fresh waters. Maybe even eat some salmon on the way. That sounds nice to me. It is all about debate though, so if you do feel different, that is what the social network known as YouTube is for. But before we do end, we do of course have to talk about the women's evolution or revolution or whatever hell it's called. Because you know, this does kind of muddy the waters just a tad. If Alexa Bliss and Mandy Rose want to do this, then again, I'm in no position to snap back. However, given they trained as pro wrestlers, and if they want to be pro wrestlers, and they'd much rather be in that ring fighting other pro wrestlers, then this is not even something we should be thinking about, let alone pulling and pasting it onto everybody's entertainment few hours of the week. That even makes sense. Or if you are going to be that way, make sure you start doing it with men as well. Women watch wrestling, maybe they want to see that, or really maybe nobody wants to see any of it. I don't know the answer for sure, I just know how I feel, and I'm absolutely happy to say that's how I feel. Don't need sex on my television when it comes to wrestling. I'm Bret Hart from 1997, and I just don't need it. I just don't need it. Not why I watch wrestling. So is WWE going to bring this back on Raw and SmackDown again next week? The only way to find out is to watch, or obviously come over here to WhatCulture Wrestling and watch Ups and Downs. I'll be sure to let you know about it. It's going to be interesting, it's going to be intriguing, and maybe if they do, it would be the wrong idea. UFC ain't doing it, and there's a reason they don't do it. It's not something that we need. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this. Like, share, and subscribe. Head on to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Go and follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE. And look, you're here on YouTube. Why not go watch yourself some other WhatCulture videos? Ups and downs, there's lists, there's news, there's everything. My name is Sam from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching. And again, I've given you my opinion. I stand by it. If you feel like you'd like to counteract that opinion, we live in a free society. It's the modern day, and you are more than welcome to do so. It won't change my mind, just so you know. There you go, throwing myself out there, putting myself on the table, being honest, and that's what I'm all about. Respect, honesty, and loyalty. That's like John Cena stuff, but I shuffled them around a bit, because I'm just that kind of a guy. Why? You just saw why. Awful. Shoot me.